Okay. Hi. So I the school board meeting was supposed to happen a week ago, but they moved it since it was fall break. So, and then I didn't find out about it till like 2 days ago. So I already went to that meeting, and the next school board meeting will be the second week in November. So if you're interested in coming and having a party with Laura and I, you're welcome to come. You'll probably just see me next time, but anyway. Just a few points of just to remember, and then I'm going to tell you all about what they talked about at the meeting. It was a good meeting. But just a reminder that reflections are happening right now. Um, that those will be due at the end of the month next week. So you have till Monday to get that done and entered in. So again, there's you can go to like the PTA website and look up reflections and find out the rules, or just email us or ask any questions. Okay. Also, Friday night, tomorrow night, if you're watching that on Thursday, and today if you're watching it on Friday, and it's over if you're watching after. But there is a parent night for parents just coming and having a guest speaker, and it's gonna be really good. So hopefully you're able to make it. And then we'll have a trivia night after. Um, and then that's supposed to be kind of a kickoff for Red Ribbon Week. So if you're able to, or if you're wondering what's going to be going on, it's a good time to come to an activity and hear about Red Ribbon Week. And then another thing is next Monday, the same day reflections are done. Oh my goodness, I am so, but I'm a week ahead. You have a whole nother week and then Monday. So the 30th is reflections are due, and we have a PTA meeting. If you want to come, it's at 3:30 in the library. Okay. And then just remember, if you haven't become a member of our PTA, we still encourage you to do that anytime this year. Our goal is 236, and we have 156 members, so we just need 80 more members. So if you haven't become a member, we'd love to have you part of our PTA. Just want to do a thank you really quick to the people that volunteered to help with our vision screening. It was great. If you want to be more involved or want to be on a list to be asked if you can come help on things like that, just let me know and I will be able to reach out to you and when we need extra volunteers. Okay. Okay. So with yesterday's board meeting, there wasn't any public comment. There was a few recognitions, but I was a little bit late. Just, life. So I didn't really get to hear who that was, but there was nobody had public comments. They did they did an approval of the Johnson's Controls contract project, and over the next 20 years, it should save us $7 million. So that was good, I guess. I think what they're saying is they're just trying to upgrade or making sure all of our facilities have efficient heaters and stuff so that we're not wasting our money on energy when we could be using it somewhere else. They also approved the school positive behavior plan. I think each school has their own positive behavior plan, and they're just supposed to like read it, and then they just passed it. I really kind of didn't know exactly what they were talking about, but they approved it. And then, so then they also have the program. It's an LEA specific license or an LEA specific endorsement, and that's so that there's not enough teachers that are graduating in college. So instead of um, there's just not enough teachers. So they are able to take somebody that hasn't actually graduated yet and then put them into this program and the district has created, I guess, this way of licensing them. Sorry, the state of Utah has done that. And if you can go through it as fast as you want, but you have 3 years to get it done, and then you would be licensed into our district. And if I understood it correctly, like let's say you start that process in Box Elder County, well, you can't really transfer to another district or something. You'd have to like start over or something. Anyway, so it's kind of an interesting thing. If that you feel like that something you want to pursue, you might want to look into that to become a teacher. Um, you know what? I wonder if I can still share my screen. I don't think I can. Keith Meekum, sorry, I'm so itchy. Keith Meekum showed some graphics about where our numbers are for our students. The projection was like, because of all the new housing that's going in and everything, that are for Box Elder County schools, our projection was supposed to be like, we should be positive, like more from we should be about 200 students more from last year. Well, the board didn't see that actually coming to pass, and so they projected only about 50 extra students coming into the district, which actually we are about 50 less than last year, which gives us about $100 deficit of what we thought we'd be. Which not anything that we can really change. I mean, it's just the way it is right now. But the thing is with less students, we get less funding. And with less funding, then we can't, I guess we just don't have extra money to spend on kids, which, I mean, if we only have X amount of students, then we only have X amount of money, which makes sense. But the thing is if we have less students, then we should have less teachers, which means that would be covering the amount of income coming in. So we just got to make sure we keep our balances of we have the right amount of teachers for the amount of students that we have in the district. And he went through all he didn't go through all the schools, but in this worksheet thing he had, and I'll see if I can link it in the video, or I mean, no, down in the description thing. And if not, you can email me and I'll send it to you. Don't know that anybody's gonna watch it anyway. Whatever. Also, just a little interesting thing is that kindergarten is the lowest it's been in the last, for the last 8 years, and it looks like it will still kind of. It looks like it'll be kind of decreasing. So, kind of interesting. They said that I don't remember how long ago that it was, but it used to be that per household it was like 2.5 kids per household. That was the average. Currently, right now, the average child ratio, like parent to child ratio, is like 0.8. So we are not, as a human race, I guess, we're not doing super well. But yeah, some of us have done our part. Anyway, okay. They also had the guy with the busing come in and talk about the busing protocol and policies. And they were talking that overall bus seem to be doing really well because there's when you don't have like the high schoolers and the elementary schoolers on the same bus, there's a lot less bullying, and there's a lot more room on the buses, and they said that they've been receiving a lot of good comments about that the parents and the children are just things have been going a lot more smooth. So they didn't see that as something that would like they didn't plan on that being as one of the good things of coming, changing the school times, but it has been a good experience for a lot of our students. They're talking about kids that don't qualify for the bus routes. They're coming up with like a list of options of like if they live really far away or if they have multiple kids, or I don't really understand everything, but they talked about how they're going to try maybe next year that if there's room on buses, that they might be able to pick up extra students that live on the route or something like that. And that way they won't have to walk to school if there's room. And they talked about how if those students if they are kind and are respectful on the bus, then they'll probably be able to keep their space on the bus. If they are rude and, not respectful, then that privilege would be taken away if this as the option rider. That makes sense. If you have more questions about that, I could probably explain that a little bit better, but it was a really interesting conversation, and so the new high schooler that's on the board this year, her name is Alyssa Lyman, and she just said that Bear River Homecoming went good. And actually, the high school is doing a book drive for elementary schools. She didn't give any information about that, but if you need more information, just let me know and I'll look more into that. Okay? The Safe School Violation Policy 5005 state or safe school. They talked about how with not good behavior students, how this last year they were sent to the district more frequently than they have been in the past. And so they just talked about trying to work within like there at the school, and then and then build out until you get to the higher up people, and also trying really hard to help behaviors at the elementary level so that when they're growing up, then they don't have to, then hopefully they've found skills that can help them better with their behavior. They also spent a lot of time, talking about the community use of school facilities. And they talked about how there's some people that really enjoy using the facilities. Like even Garland Elementary, you can request to use it, I think. And the problem is that, there's like several problems. One is that it does cost money to have people use the school. So we have this the district has to realize that, let's say you wanted to hold your basketball practice at the school. Okay, well, somebody has to be in charge of making sure that it has a building maintenance, like the bathrooms are okay and that things are shut down after you leave. So they have to pay that person. And if you're using a custodian, then you have to realize that that comes out of their regular time. So that means they have to have more time off during school hours. And it's kind of like it's just hard to figure this out. There also, people that use the buildings are sometimes disrespectful to those that are trying to like maintain the building, whether that be custodians or whether it be a volunteer. It's just we need to be able to make sure that we're being kind to those that are doing it, or helping us have access to these buildings. They want to give the public more access to the buildings because, one, it's our tax money that's gone into building these things often. So who should be able to use it but the people that have paid for it? So they want to be able to make it more available so people can use these facilities that we've spent money on. They just need to I think they're trying to work on policies so that they can open that up to more of the public thing. Anyway, if you have more questions about that, I might be able to answer some, but and then they kind of just jabbered, and I think I kind of zoned out for a minute there. So that's actually the whole meeting. They went into a closed session, so we weren't invited to that. And then it was the end of the night, and it was a good meeting. I will say too that there is our elective officials will be meeting in the Capitol in February, and so it's a really good time to reach out to your your senators and representatives and ask them some good questions would be like, what are you most excited for coming up into your legislative um, time, like whatever that thing's called. When they go to the legislative and it's like they pass bills and stuff. Which one do you feel like is the best for schools? Or which one do you think is going to harm schools? Or I don't know, just starting a conversation with your representatives can be a really good way to one, build a relationship with your representatives, which just makes it so if you like let's say you have a good relationship with whatever representative, then if you hear something that's going on or you have questions, it's just so much easier to reach out and say, well, what does this mean? Because they already know you. And, you know, I, I don't know, I think it's something that we could all do a little bit better at is just being a little more proactive in our community and being able to just being involved, knowing what's going on. Sometimes it feels a little daunting and also, what's the word? Like, you don't feel like it's going to make a difference, but that's some sometimes it does. And I am going to try. I went to an advocacy conference that the PTA did a few weeks ago, and I just feel like there's a lot that we could do and that we don't do just because it takes time. And we're all really busy, and I get that. But it's hard. It's hard because when things happen and you want to complain about it, like there's things that I want to complain about, and I feel bad because if I would have known what was going on, I could have said something before they passed X bill or whatever. But because I didn't know about it, my voice didn't matter. So the more you know, the better off you're going to be. I'm going to try really hard to keep you guys, like, to do some more updates on what's coming up in the legislative stuff, and kind of figure that out. Anyway, you guys are the best. Hopefully we'll see you at our parent night, and if not then, maybe at the meeting. And we encourage everybody to become a member. Thanks, you guys. Hope have a good night. Or day, whenever you listen to this. I'm going to figure out how to do this really well. Okay, bye.